My book recommendations, my 5 favorite books as of this point right now. My number 1 is Shantaram by Gregory David Roberts. I actually listened to this book and actually both read and listened to this book before I went to India. And number 1, I would recommend, if you can, listen to it. Don't read it, listen to it, because it's probably one of the best audiobook I ever listened to, because the narrator is so gifted and he plays every different character, with a different voice. And it's almost like listening to a play. And it gives you this incredible insights about India and the character, and the culture. It's incredibly well written, captivating. One of my favorite books right now. Number 2 is How to Think Like a Roman Emperor by Donald Robertson. This book is very unique because Donald is a behavioral psychologist. He's also a student of Stoic philosophy and philosophy in general. And he's an incredible writer. So when he writes this book about Marcus Aurelius, he brings his insights about Stoic philosophy, about history, about behavioral psychology. So I read this book, and I think this book just gave me so much great appreciation of Marcus Aurelius, his time, and he's just such a good writer. So that would be my second book. My third book is The Atomic Habits by James Clear, and this book, I would argue, had a huge impact on me because it made me accomplish so many more things that I wouldn't have accomplished otherwise. It basically made me understand how to create habits. And the most amazing part about this book, you realize to create habits, if you want to write, you don't need to write an hour a day. You just need to show up for 1 minute at first, and then for 3 minutes. Okay, just start writing. Start writing. So that book is very well written. Love the book. The fourth book is The Tools of Titans, written by 3 Southside analysts. What I loved about this book, that it tells stories about the who is who of corporate America, of industrial corporate America, the Boeings, the Caterpillars, Donahers, and it tells you this unique story about each company, and there's a lot of lessons in them. So as an analyst, I learned tremendous amount. You also learn about different industries as well. So that would be my fourth book. And my fifth book, and I would argue I'm doing this service by just recommending one book, but Ellen Langer wrote many different books, but the one that I'm going to focus right now is Mindfulness. And Ellen is the godmother of mindfulness. And she made me appreciate how important mindfulness is in our life, because what happens, we go through our lives a lot of times mindless and we don't realize it. And this book teaches you lessons, and that, how can you become a more mindful person, etc. So I highly recommend it. I recommended this book to my colleague, and he rides bicycle to work, so he was listening to the audio version of this on the way to work, and he tells me that when he comes to the office today, he tells me a story that he noticed that when he's riding the bike and listening to podcasts, he's riding very fast. If he's listening to rock and roll, he's riding it faster. But this book made him slow down and actually pay attention to the world around him. And and he only listened to 2 chapters. I guess he will never come to work again. It's going to take him 3 hours to get to work next time if you listen to all the chapters. No, but it's a really terrific book. Now, I'll throw an extra book. Rory Sutherland wrote this wonderful, funny book, Alchemy. Rory Sutherland is a vice chairman of a huge advertising company in London. And again, actually, just like with Shantaram, I would advise you to listen to this book, because Rory Sutherland is the one who's actually narrating the book. And he has this beautiful British accent.
If you're an upper middle class English person, you call unemployment a year off.
And it's incredibly engaging, educational, and funny. And you will never see marketing and advertising the same way again. So those are my 5 books plus a bonus recommendations for 2023. Next year I may have something else.